Hey, it's Annie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a good one for you guys today. Today, I'm going to sort of, I don't want to say roast myself. I'm not going to roast myself, but I'm going to do a tutorial along with myself. This is one of my earlier videos. I want to share with you some of the mistakes I was making back then. I don't know, I don't have all the same makeup as I was wearing back then, so things are going to be a little bit different, but I'm going to, as I'm going along, if there's things I still do, I'm going to point it out. If there's things I don't and I don't agree with anymore, I don't agree with myself, I'm going to point that out to you. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting, so let's just get right into it. Welcome to my channel. I'm Annie. Today we're going to talk about makeup tips and tricks. I'm going to show you how to bring out your best features and how I go from looking like this to this. All right, so are you ready to get started? Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, so we're ready to get started. My face has already been cleansed and primed and we're ready to get started. But before we do, really quickly, always make sure that you have a cleansed face, that your face has been exfoliated if it's dry, and make sure you always moisturize as well. Especially when you have dry skin, you don't want your foundation to look patchy on your face. And also make sure you use a primer. There's all different kinds of primers. I don't use primers anymore. I believe at the time I might have been using the primer from Tarte. Tarte used to have a primer for filling your pores. I can't remember what the name of it was, but I don't have that issue anymore with my pores. My pores are so much better. Now I feel like my skin looks really good. Honestly, I would go out without makeup on if I didn't have this darkness under, like there. Like, I feel like my skin is getting better and better. I'm using some different skincare lately, so I'll be talking about that soon. But I do think you should moisturize. This is my primer. It's a moisturizer. This is the Wander Beauty Brightening Cream. So that's what I use. Sometimes I use Bobbi Brown. I mean, there's different ones that I use, but basically it's a moisturizer. So I have my sunscreen on. I have a moisturizer underneath it. I don't think I mentioned sunscreen. Sunscreen is really important. I can't believe I didn't mention it. Okay. A foundation primer will help keep your makeup on and in place. Slide all over the place. And there are also some primers that will help minimize the appearance of your pores, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and start with my foundation, and I'm just gonna dab it on my face first. I'm gonna do it this way. One thing to remember when you're doing your foundation is to make sure whatever you use, whether it's a brush or a sponge, make sure that you use a lot of foundation in there. A lot of foundation I am using on there. You do not have to use that much foundation. Do you see what I just did on my face just now? Foundation should even out your skin tone. That's all a foundation should do. And I'm gonna do just half of my face here so you can see both sides. I get a little bit in my nose, but I don't just put foundation on my nose. And I don't know if I addressed it in here, but I'm just gonna tell you now, the reason I don't put foundation on my nose is it usually doesn't stick, so I will use a powder, mineral powder for some redness. I am putting a little bit on there today, but I don't just go to town on it because it doesn't stay on my nose. Another option you have is to use a powder. I was just sent this. This is from Wander Beauty. This is a powder foundation. Okay, I'm not a fan of powder foundations, but I did like it on my nose. I use very little of this. So you can use a powder foundation on your nose if you feel like you need it. If you just have some redness on the sides of your nose, just use a little bit of a concealer or color corrector or something like that on the sides of your nose, or just use a little bit of foundation there. But I just don't put it all over because see where, I don't know if you could see those red marks, that's from my glasses. So I'm just gonna have those, you know, your glasses slide and then it just looks like you have this mess on your nose. Can you see this side compared to that side? See how it just looks a little bit more finished? But you can still see, I feel like you can still see my skin. Don't have to go crazy with foundation. Okay. Blending it really well. Take the time to blend it well, okay? Now in the video, I am using that Clarisonic brush head, which I don't use anymore. I just like using this because I feel like this pushes the product into my face. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna apply my concealer, and I like to try to concentrate on placing my concealer right there. I don't like to spread it
or apply it too much right here because
I've been using a primer under my eyes. I won't do that today, but usually I've been using the Smashbox first, but I'm not going to do that. But that is right. You want to only apply it where you need it. I just took a little dot. And all I do is I put it right here in this corner and right here. I take the smallest little amount. I cannot stress that enough. You don't want to put too much. Anytime you put too much product under your eyes, whether it's eye cream or your primer or anything, like, you just don't need to put a lot of product. It's just a teeny tiny little space. I see people with their concealer like going crazy. You don't need that much. It has nothing to do with how old you are. It's just you don't need to put that much product on there, because anytime that you smile too, you're gonna have settlement because you're putting too much product in that area.
I have fine lines and wrinkles. I should probably just say they're wrinkles. Okay, who am I fooling?
Exactly.
So I'm going to go ahead in with my sponge and I'm going to blend that out really, really well. Again, and I also blend in here because I have a little bit of that discoloration as well. Okay, and I'll blend it in here, but I just don't apply it there. Go easy on your concealer.
Okay, so I did not blend it good there. I did not. So the way I do it now, so I did blend it, but then I was blending it out. No, girl, no. No, girl. This is what you do. You put a little bit there, and I blend, but I mean, I am tapping it in here. I either use this brush, this is the BK Beauty Foundation brush, and this is the number 101, or you can use a sponge. This is my beauty blender, but you can use a sponge. I like the beauty blender. See how it's pointy like that, so you can get in there. You just want to pounce it on that area. I know it looks like I'm going like this. I swear I'm not, okay? So you just want to go in here and just lightly tap it and blend, blend, blend in that area. Then, after you have it blended really well there, then we're going to take what's ever left on this brush and we're going to bring it out here. That way you're not putting on too much product. And it's all blended nicely.
Okay, especially on mature eyes, if you use too much, they'll end up looking crepey and you'll see all your lines and it'll just highlight your lines and wrinkles.
It will. Trust her. It will.
I use two concealers. I use a concealer under my eyes and then I can use a different concealer that I use on my scar.
I don't do that lately. This is what I do instead now. I use this. This is a mineral powder corrector. This is from Color Science. I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, that is so expensive. It is, but this lasts a long time. Color Science sent this one to me like I feel like it's been over a year ago that they sent this to me. I still have it. You can see the colors I use most. I still have it. I bought a backup because I was panicking once I hit pan, but I haven't even used that one yet. Totally worth the money. This has an SPF of, it's not a very strong, I think it's only 15. No, it's 20. So it has an SPF of 20. So if you have some redness right here by your nose, I'm just going to take this brush, Heavenly Luxe, and you could put it like this on your nose. This is what I was saying, that this is one of the things I use. So now you're getting a sunscreen on your face. Now, I always have sunscreen anyways, but this is kind of like an extra bonus. I will use these two colors here, okay, because they cancel out the redness. And I will go on my scar instead of using a concealer. And see how it just bumped that out? If I have a blemish, I will use this on a blemish. If it's kind of like red or whatever, I will put some of this on a blemish. So really love this. And I just, instead of using the concealer all over, I just feel like it's better because it doesn't look like I have a lot of makeup on, but it cancels out the discoloration.
Some concealers work better for under eye and some work better for flaws. So I always use two concealers.
That's true. The concealer that you use under your eyes, usually I use one that's a little bit lighter. You don't want to use a lighter color concealer on a pimple, and I shouldn't have been using it on my scar either because I think maybe I was using a different one. But you don't want to use a light color concealer on a pimple because now you just highlighted it. So you want to use something that's a little bit darker. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's why I like to use something like this. Color corrector helps with that too. Okay.
Then I'm going to take a third concealer, and now I'm going to put just a little bit down here. And what I'm
doing here is I'm drawing. Oh, Lord have mercy, no.
I'm going to highlight a little bit today, okay?
No. Mm-mm-mm.
You can do this with a concealer, and that's what I'm using, just
Oh,
concealer.
brother. Okay.
And I'm just
Hold
doing
on.
a little bit of highlighting
No.
right there on my cheeks.
Okay. This is when I was following the younger people. This is a big no. You don't do that. You're not going to put a bunch of highlighter up there, girl. No, it's ridiculous. It's too much makeup. If you have lines and crepiness and everything, you're going to make all that look worse. So you do not want to follow. Do not follow my advice on this video here. That's a no. So instead of doing that, we're going to use this. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. You can use this. The other one that I like that I have is this. This is from Chanel. This one's more of a clear. It's much lighter than this one, but we'll use this one today. So like I said, if you are putting all that light, it's too much makeup. It's too much makeup. It's going to make your skin look more crepey, and no. So we're going to just take this and we're going to just dab like that. Now we want to go at the highest part of the cheek. Now sometimes I will put my blush on first, but here's a little tip for you. You don't have to put your blush on and then do it on top. If you do this first, you'll get that, and I might even say that, I don't know if I'm going to say that in here because I'm using another freaking concealer for whatever reason. But you will get a glow within look. So I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm going to blend it at the highest part of my cheek. And you should be able to see how the light's hitting that, and it just kind of bounces the light up there. And what that's going to do is it's going to slightly lift my cheek up a little bit. And I'm going to just blend it up because I want to pull my eye, I want to pull my face up, okay? So when you look at me, it looks like my face is... It's too much makeup. Holy cow. No, no, no. Like giving yourself a little bit of a facelift. Don't do this. Please, for the love of God, don't. Okay? Now I need to set my makeup. I always set my makeup. What I do is I just pounce it on my face like this, and then I'll go back and then I will lightly buff it in, okay? Okay, no. If I just go with my powder brush. This was probably when I was using more powder products. The thing about using all that powder stuff, we've talked about that, girl. We talked about powder on mature skin. Powder will suck the moisture out of your face. So if you have any areas that are crepey or dry and you put all that powder on, it's just too much powder. So that's a no. Okay. Brush right away and apply the powder like this. My foundation's gonna... We're gonna powder, but not at this point. I wanna see where I'm going with this one. Blend it in, just buff it in. Next, I'm going to contour my cheeks because I... Oh, Lord have mercy. Here we go, contouring.
I can use a cream for that, but
here we go again.
So I'm just going to go in with
and more powder.
Right here and kind of
oh,
see
yeah.
where my line is.
Great.
Perfect. And my contour, okay? So if you're not sure where yours is, look at your face, okay? Your ear, kind of hold a brush right there. This is where you want to contour right there.
Okay.
You don't want to go too far down.
Girl. No, I don't agree with contouring. I know I was doing it a couple of years ago, but it's a big no for me. I think that if you have an event to go to, maybe you can do a little bit, but you have to be careful because what looks nice on camera with these lights is not going to look nice. I've already done it. I'm not going to do the contouring today because we've done that already in a couple of videos. We get the point. So instead, I'm going to take a bronzer. I like to use a cream bronzer. I just feel like this is such a nicer, softer look. And by the way, this currently is sold out because they are revamping it. They're actually going to add some other colors. So for some of you that said that you don't like the color, this one works for me. They're going to be adding, I think, 2 other shades. So they're going to have 3 shades, I believe. I believe that's what Erin Nicole said. I know she mentioned it in a video recently. So don't freak out if it's not available. It's coming back. I'm just going to take this. And what I do is kind of do where I contour, even though I don't contour. I know some people say bronzing isn't contouring. It isn't, but I still feel like there's some key areas that I like to wear. I don't put bronzer all over my face. I know some people do that, but I just think, I don't know, it's all over your face now. Now your face is a different color. I just feel like it looks nicer if there's just certain areas of your face. So I like to hit the sides of my face. I like to hit a little bit up there. Sometimes I will even do under my neck or whatever, but for the most part I just go right here and I just lightly put it on I'm going to do one side of my face first so you can see the difference, okay? Now I'm going to add a little bit more. I don't go crazy. And there's some days where I will just have bronzer and no blush on. So I don't know if you can see it already. It's very light, very subtle, but can you see how that kind of warmed up my face a little bit on that side compared to that side? But it doesn't look like I have a streak here. You're gonna see, girl, I have that line, and the line is not pretty. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, right here. I'm gonna take it right up in here and blend it. I like to keep my blush up high. Me too, girl.
The reason I like to do that is because, again, I want to lift my face up. I feel like as we age, at least on me, I feel like my face is falling and I need to lift it. So I don't want to put anything down here. I want to lift it up here. So I just swirl some of my blush in, and I'm just going to put it right there, right where my bronzer was applied. And I'm just going to swirl it in at the high point of my cheek here.
That I totally agree with. But do you see how much makeup I have going on there? Girl, that's too much. Way too much. So I'm going to use my Daniel Sandler. I know in there I'm using powder. I'm just really like this. So I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm going to take my brush. This is my BK Beauty brush number 106. And I'm just going to tap this off. You want to tap it off just a little bit because otherwise, you know, you might apply too much. And again, just like I said in the video, because that I agree with, I want to go to the highest part of my cheek. And I'm just lightly tapping it in here. And what happens is it just looks really, see how it gives myself a nice little glow, and it's natural looking. It's not over the top. I'm going to do the same with the other side. I'm just going to grab some more. I won't tap it this time because it's not going to pick up as much. But this gives a nice pretty, see how pretty and natural that looks? And then I will take the side of the brush sometimes and I will just blend it in a little bit, just like the edges a little bit with the side of my brush. But see how pretty that looks compared to in the video?
Yeah. So it's contour, bronze, and blush. Now I want to have a little bit more of a highlight at the top of my cheeks. I don't like to use anything too glittery or shimmery, especially on mature.
Okay, so first I put all that highlighter makeup on, okay? Then I went in with a bronzer. No, a contour. Then I contoured. Then I used a bronzer. Then I used a blush, and I'm gonna use another highlighter. Seriously? Who the hell has time to do all that? Dewy skin looks more youthful. Yes. So next we're gonna start on the eyes. Dewy skin looks more youthful, but I am going to lightly powder because I did not do that because I powdered underneath all that. So I'm going to powder on top of this. I'm going to use very little. I'm just going to use my Chanel powder here. And I'm just going to dip it in. And then I kind of go like this. And then I will shake it a little bit. And then I will tap. And basically what I like to do is I like to get the areas that I know I'm going to get really oily. I don't like to go too much because I want to have a little bit of a shine. I just don't want to look like a grease ball. We're going to go in with the eyes, it looks like. And it didn't look like I mentioned this in the video, so I'm going to mention it now. I am going to use an eye primer. The one that I like to use is from Trish McAvoy, and this is in the color Beer. For this too, I don't know, I think I know which one. I think I was using the In Bloom palette in the video from Tarte, which I don't have anymore. So I'm going to go in with my Soft Glam, and I'll try to do something similar.
So next we're going to start on the eyes. And I'm going to show you how to make your eyes look really big. So what I do is I look straight ahead in the mirror and I let my eyes relax. If I go like this and I start putting my eyeshadow on and try to create that crease is going to end up coming down here and it's going to look like you won't be able to see what I did. First, I'm going to put a color all over. I always like to start out with a really neutral color all over my eye. I use many colors on my eye. The more colors that I use on my eyes, the more my eye makeup looks more seamless and flawless, okay?
I'm not okay with that. Okay, I disagree with that. What was I saying? Okay, so what I want to do instead, here, folks, is I'm going to take this palette here. And the first color I think I'm going to use today is I'm going to use the color Burnt Orange, because I'm going to just give you a general, I don't want to say rule, but I'm going to say rule, is you want to use a medium shadow here in your crease. You want to use a darker shadow there, and you want to use a light color there. So medium, dark, light. You really only need to use 3 shadows. You could use 2 shadows. You can do 1 shadow. And I'm going to do some other videos talking about eye looks with all that. I'm going to use this medium color right here, Burnt Orange. I could have used that color there. That one's kind of light. So I'm going to go with this. Relax my eye, and I'm going to go, oh, it doesn't matter. Did you see how my eyes are like, girl? You know what I mean? Girl. So I need to go up here and I need to create a crease. My bone is right here, but my skin is sagging. You don't want to go all the way up here. You don't want to bring it all the way up there. You just want to go right where my crease is. But as I said in the video, if I go like this and I put it right there, when I relax my eye, you're not going to see the color. I go right here. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth there. But you don't have to do an eye color all over. Now, I do some different looks and I do some different techniques these days. And like I said, I'll be sharing some other eye looks with you. But this is like a basic for you guys. I'm gonna dip it into a, you know, like a, not too dark of a color, kind of like a medium color. No, not kind of like a medium color. Back and forth. And I'm kind of creating a new lid here. Okay, right there, right on my brow bone. Not my brow bone, right on my bone there, my eye socket bone. That is going to make my eye look bigger, okay? So I kind of go back and forth. I'm going to do the same thing with this eye. Just back and forth, relax my eye. Then I'm going to take my blending brush, and again, we're going to blend that out really good. Always take the time to blend your eye makeup out. One thing you're going to notice in this video is I say you need to take the time to blend, but girl did not take the time to blend. I needed to blend a lot more than I did. Really make sure you take the time to blend. Go easy on your eyeshadow. You can always build it up, but if you put too much on, it's hard to blend it. Okay, you want to make sure you're blending in here too. You don't want to just blend and stop. You got to make sure that you're really blending all of your eye makeup in. Now yeah, but you're putting more color on and you're not blending it well, so just pounce it on here. Okay, I'm just going to pounce it on the corner, the outside corner of my eye. Don't want to get too far out here. Okay, pounce it. Why are we pouncing it? Want to stay right in here. No, you don't need to pounce it. No. Okay, so this is what you do. I'm going to show you, is this the brush? Yeah. This is the BK Beauty brush number 205. And there's also another brush you can use. This is the number 207. You can do the same thing with either brush. This one for me makes it easier. But what we want to do is we want to get a little bit of shadow and we want to go right just on the end. Do you see how easy it makes it? If I put that shadow, I can just put it right here. And I got that whole area. You can do the same thing with this, it's just smaller. So you can just kind of build it up like this and do kind of like that outward V thing and do it that way. I'm going to take this brown color here. And actually I'm going to mix it with this one. And I'm going to go right on this outside corner like this. Just like that. Now this is where you can kind of pull your eye up a little bit. And then I'm going to just take a little bit right there, just on the end. But you just want to keep it on the end. You see how I did that? Then I'm going to take my crease brush that I was using on the top and I'm going to blend it. This is just a nice fluffy brush to do that with. So I'm just blending it right there. I'm going to wipe my brush off. And I'm going to blend it more. Now I'm going to go in with my BK Beauty brush number 201 and I'm just going to soften the edges of that even more. And this is going to draw my eye up and I'm gonna do the same thing with this eye.
Stand out and pop even more. Blend it in slow motion. Make sure you're keeping it towards your, going towards your nose.
So I gotta do this eye.
So something that I like to do that really kicks my eyes up a notch, really makes them look bigger and pretty, is I like to do a little bit of a shimmer color in my lid instead of a flat color. So I'm going to go ahead and apply, and I just kind of pat it in there. I don't go too far over this way because I need to keep that dark. So it's really to about, it's hard to say, a little bit past the halfway of my eye, I would say. Okay, can you see that? Another way to make your eyes look bigger, or something else that I do, is I like to put a lighter color right on the top here. It just kind of helps pull the eye.
Okay, that's a big no. Class, what did we talk about recently? What did we talk about putting a shimmer color in there? What's it going to do? It's going to draw more attention to my saggy baggy skin. And I don't want more attention to my saggy baggy skin. What you could do after you do your brows, because we haven't even gotten to the brows yet, is you can take a really light highlight color, like a powder highlight color. And this is what I have in front of me. So I'm going to show you this one. So you can use a color like this one from Urban Decay. I don't know if you can see that. It's a really light shimmer color. So what you would do with that, instead of slapping it all on up there, what you want to do is you want to take a tiny amount, and you want to use, you can use a brush like this smudger brush. This is from BK Beauty. This is the number 204. What you want to do with that is you take that after you do your brows. This is after you do your brows. Can't stress that enough. Then you would take it like in this area here where it's kind of arched. You would just apply a little bit right there, and you could apply a little bit right there. What it will do is a light will reflect on that, so on your highest point, so it'll just kind of make your eyes look slightly lifted. But you don't put a shimmer all over on your eyes. Okay? All right. All right.
Now, to make my eyes look even more bigger than they are, I like to do a little bit of a shadow underneath my eye. I don't like to bring it down too hard, but I just think it's a really pretty look. I think it brightens my eyes and opens my eyes more. Taking a color,
brown, the dark brown. No, this brown.
Take the same color that, or do a color that's similar to the color I used around the edge, and I just go right on my lash line. I have to get my mirror. I go right on my lash line, and then I start to blend it in. Okay. Okay, can you see my eye here compared to there, how it just like popped my eye out? My eye looks bigger already, and that eye looks smaller. So now I'm going to I'm going to line my upper lash line. What this will do is it will make your lashes look thicker.
I just don't do this anymore. So I was lining, using a black liner on top. You can do that. I just don't do that anymore. This is something I'm going to do today for a change for you guys. This brush. Now, normally I don't tell you guys this. Only other time I think I said this. Like, this to me, brush is a must-have. Must-have, okay? This brush is a must-have. This is the number 208 from BK Beauty. It is the finest little brush I have ever seen. Angle brush. I've never seen one this fine. But what's nice about it is there's so many things you can do with this brush. You can use it for the highlighter. You can make little hair strokes. You can get very detailed in areas. You could do a liner with this. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that black shadow that's in here. I'm going to take that and I'm going to work that into my lash line, and I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see. So I'm going to get right here on my lash line, and you can do that with this brush because it is so tiny. And we're going to work it in. We're not getting it on the, like, we're not getting in the waterline. We're just getting it in the lash line. So I'm kind of going on top a little bit first. But on top, I mean, I'm placing it on my lashes, and then I'm going and opening my eye, and I'm getting right at the root area of my eyelashes. And I'm just working it in there. And I'm even going to get in this corner right here. You see that? You see the difference between that eye and that eye? See how that my lashes look thicker, but I don't have anything in my waterline. There's nothing in there. It's all just in my lashes. Will lift your eyes even more. It's amazing. What I do is I like mine to look as natural as possible. Brush my eyebrows down, then I take my pencil and I go up. I kind of make little hairs, okay? Then I go on top of it and I start to follow my shape. My brows are way too thin. Then I brush my hair up. Then I start going underneath and I follow the shape down. I did a brow video recently. I will try to link it for you if you missed it. Okay. Can you see the difference between my eyebrows? See how this eye looks up? And I brushed this up too. So this is brushed up. Can you see the difference? It really makes my eyes look bigger. It pulls my eye up and it's like... Brows are definitely important to do, but you have to do them correctly. And my brows were way too thin then. To see what I did, this thing is, I love this. This is from Chanel. This is their waterproof defining pencil. So one has a spoolie, the other one has that pencil that's kind of angled. This just makes it easy for me. I mean, you saw how fast I just did my brow. And then I take my Chanel double-ended brush. I don't know if they have this anymore. Last time I looked, they didn't. But I love this because it's one end is kind of soft. The other end is, you know, has that nice spoolie on it. And I will just take it and blend it because my big thing is I want it to look natural. I don't want it to look like I drew my brows on. You see how full and natural that looks, and this looks like, where's my brow? Yeah. Okay, so this is it. This is my final look. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. So this is my final look. I think it looks much better, don't you guys? I think I've gotten a lot better with my blending. You can see my eyeshadow looks pretty much seamless. I think that looks a lot prettier and more, I don't want to say natural. It just looks more flattering on me. I feel like my brows look so much better. And remember, brows are not going to match. They're not going to match, so don't have a cow over it. But I think having a slightly fuller, and when I say fuller, we're not trying to look like the 20s and 30-year-olds, okay? But I think my brows were way too thin back then. I think this looks a lot more flattering on me, less makeup. Don't put all that, do not listen to that. Do not put all that highlighter, lighter color. That's all the contouring and no, girl, we already talked about that. It's just way too much makeup for every day. I think I just look fresh. I look put together and my makeup looks flattering. So instead of my makeup overtaking my whole face, this looks a lot more flattering on me, in my opinion. So I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about my before and after? I think I look better now. I think my makeup has evolved, definitely. I think that's how it is with makeup. I think as we age, we have to kind of tweak it a little bit. I don't want to hear about my hair color either. I know a lot of you guys like my red hair color, but it's not going to be happening anytime soon. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I really hope that it was helpful and informative. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of fun. I can go there. I can admit that I made mistakes. Some people can't admit when they make mistakes. I can admit when I make mistakes. And please make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, click that button below, hit the subscribe button. I share new videos every single week. Click that notification bell too, because anytime I share a new video, you will be notified. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. I will leave the links below. I will leave the links below with everything that I'm wearing on my fresh face today. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.